I remember that I found this character that I thought it was really interesting because I grew up in Colombia in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, where narco traffic was the thing. I mean, it was, we knew every single narco guy, every single drug lord, we know it by name. You mean, it was, they were household names, Pablo Escobar, the Orejuelas, everyone. And unfortunately, we know them. We know who these men were, what they were doing to our country, to their own families. And, but I had never heard of a woman doing this kind of job and being so insane and so ruthless. So it kind of called my attention because I was like, there's no way. And we would have heard of her. And so it was more, I was out, it was more like, I want to find out if this is true. I wasn't, and I don't even know if I was thinking, oh, I'm going to do something with this. I just wanted to find out who this woman was. And then I got really, really into it. I mean, I've never really had any training as an actress, and I was doing comedy with Modern Family, and it was like the best job in the world. You know, it was like such an amazing opportunity for me, and my life changed everything. And I knew I had to do other stuff if I was gonna, you know, keep acting. I wasn't really thinking, oh, I want to do a drama. I just wanted to do another character that I kind of like understood really well. And that was Griselda, because when I started investigating more and more about her, it's like I know this woman because I grew up in Colombia. I know, of course, I knew it as a man, not as a woman raising four kids. But to me, that was even more like, I mean, I don't want to say like good adjectives of her because she was a monster, but it was a lot more interesting to me. And I said, maybe this is the character that I can play because I know her so well. The same way I know Gloria. And then I started working, finding out more information about her, hiring writers, investigating. But she was still alive. Griselda Blanco was still alive. She was released from jail, and she was living in Medellin. And I'm like, I can't do that project right now when this woman that was a monster destroyed lives, her family's life, her kids' life, and I'm gonna make a movie and now she's out of jail. So I'm like, let's do that. So I had to wait for her to die. And it took a long time. I would be nervous. Yeah. But then, she was killed in a very horrific way, the same way, unfortunately, the same way that she used to kill people. And so I kind of like took the project again, but I didn't really know what to do with it. And then I started seeing on TV Narcos. And I was like, oh my God, this is the people that I need to meet because they know everything about that world. And I think that they'll know what to do with her. And I did. I met with Eric, and I thought I was gonna have to like sit down and convince him that he's gonna leave this at my house and say, he's like, this woman crazy, like Gloria Preacher with a plastic nose is gonna play Griselda Blanco. I'm like, I said I'm gonna try it anyways, and I'm gonna tell him all that I know about her, what I think this should be, how she should look, everything. And he said, yes, I love it. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. And we did. It took us some time because then the pandemic happened. It was like a lot of things, but we did it. And I feel wherever we are right now, and we're people in Colombia that we don't stop. We're survivors of this era. It's because of everything that we lived at that time. And it was horrible. Families were destroyed, cities. You couldn't even go into some cities because, narco traffic and the violence was so crazy between the cartels. My brother, unfortunately, was part of this business at some point, and he was killed in the 90s. So it was like, I knew this business. because I knew who these people were, and so I think that's why I became so fascinated with her, because I couldn't believe that there was a woman that could be so horrific. Um, but but I guess it was easier for me because I don't have any training really as an actress to feel like, okay, I know who this woman is. I lived around those people. I can do this. What I was doing. I think if I had really like realized what I was gonna go through, I would have never had the balls to do it. It was like the first week I thought I was dying. First of all, it's 3 hours of hair and makeup. I had never worked prosthetics. I had never, like I was saying before in the reel, like I had never even smoked. And then suddenly, the director is like, "You're gonna be smoking in almost every scene." I'm like, "What do you mean?" So he would.
And you never started cocaine, right?
I never snorted cocaine. I've never done crack. And I had to do all of that and make it like supposedly like look real. So it was kind of like nerve-wracking. And then well, I've never done drama. Just starting by that, I was like, what if I have to cry in these scenes? And like, it's not gonna come out. I mean, I was like really like, but it was it hit me all at the beginning when I was ready to start filming that week. And also, the only good thing that was new was that I had never really acted in Spanish, believe it or not. So that was like such a relief. Like I didn't have to start to think or translate all the time. It was just feelings when you're acting in your own language. That was like really great for me. I would go to Latin America and do more things, but American dollars are better. For now, yeah. But it was amazing. It was amazing. But I did thought at the beginning that something bad was happening to me. I would go home because I was used to Modern Family. Gloria Bridget, we would be on set laughing, and I knew all those lines by like they were just like inside of me already after 11 seasons. And comedy, you go home happy, you spend your day happy. This is another thing. It's like I think that's why some actors become, because it's like your body doesn't know that you're killing someone, screaming all day long, that you're cutting someone's head or doing cocaine. It's like I would go home and then I'm like, and now what?
Were your friends and family like, are you okay? Did they see the difference?
Well, I wasn't around much people because I was working. I was like in every single scene, so I would be home. I would go home. But now that I think about it, I got a divorce like I did. Oops. But of course, I couldn't fall asleep, but I didn't know. So I was like, what is happening to me? Your body doesn't know that you were not really feeling all those things of anxiety and fear and whatever. And so I had to start taking like a little something to fall asleep. Yeah.
Something legal.
No, just legal.
We have to just let people know. You never know.
That's why I was like sure that I could do it because I knew her. So I knew her, and I knew. I mean, it's difficult because, I don't want to say that I have things that are similar with this perfect woman, but there were, because I was a woman, Colombian mother, single mother, an immigrant. There were many similarities, and so I kind of understood that. But of course, I didn't really realize it was so much work to get the whole project going that only like the last 3 months before shooting, I was like, and now what? How am I going to do this? And then I'm like, I need to find somebody to help me with the lines. I knew there was no way that I was going to learn how to act like in 3 months. So I was like, at least somebody to help me like understand every scene because of the English. Sometimes I have a lot of problems. And so I said, what actors that I love that have been doing comedy now is doing drama. So I found the person that helped, Jennifer Aniston. And so I started meeting with her, kind of like on Zoom because it was like pandemic time and all that. And so she would help me like not to like act, but like to start feeling everything that to know what I was supposed to feel in every scene. And then Andy, the director, was the one in charge of teaching me the bad stuff, like to smoke, come to my house, and snorting the cocaine, the crack, all of that. I don't know where he learned it. Yeah. But he taught me, and I think about it. I mean, we were lucky because we were 6 episodes and they were kind of like all of them were written already, so we kind of like started in order, which helped me amazingly. And all because if you saw the series, you see that she starts like changing and getting crazier and crazier and crazier. So that was like great for me as a new, dramatic actress to understand that. And you would tell me and would sit with me and would explain to me and would help me, and I would have ideas and I would say, do you think this is too much? I like when I get like really directed, like he guided me. And one of the things that was very difficult, which I was like obsessed, was the look of Griselda, because we only had 3 hours. It wasn't like a movie that I had like a lot of time, or also uh, I couldn't like transform exactly into her because I would have taken forever. So what I wanted to do was like Gloria preach it and me to disappear so that people wouldn't think of me and her. And I wanted to create this woman that looked human, because sometimes, prosthetics and all that, I sometimes get distracted like when I'm watching like a TV show or a movie. I'm like, is that a no? Is that it's like, I wanted her to look real. And so it took me forever and I couldn't find it. We would do tests and this and that. I wanted her to look from that era. But also she needed to be, she couldn't be just like an ugly, woman. She needed to have something because she had like 3 husbands.
Yeah.
She could get guys. Like, yeah, obviously she wasn't like this. There had to be some kind of something to her. So I'm like, no, this is not her. The teeth and this and this. I had the teeth were fake, the nose, like I had plastic like from here to here to cover my eyebrows, the wig. It was a lot. Like I would tape my, my boobs and my legs, and then didn't jiggle the ass.
And you had three pairs of Spains?
Yeah, because Latin girls were like used to, and so I was like trying to put everything like so it didn't like jiggle. But then we imagine in the summer in Los Angeles, I was like dying. And then I was like thinking. I mean, I want to change kind of like the way I moved. I wanted to be a little bit different than me and Gloria. So I decided there's this aunt and this cousin of mine that they walk kind of like, weird way. So I kept like, that's the thing I want to do. And it was great. People like when I would arrive on the set, everybody's like, oh my God, that's amazing, amazing. You're not very feminine, or because I'm always like very late.
Yeah.
So it was like a little bit like more rough, but then like on the third month of doing that, I got up one morning, and I couldn't go to work. I herniated a disc. At 51, you can just walk around, like putting your body in a position for 16-hour days, walking like that, sitting like that, and all that. My back was like, until now I ruined my back because of doing that. But then the doctor's like, you're crazy. You have to, at 51, you have to like stretch and do things, and this is not like that. But then I had 3 more months to go, so they injected me. I didn't go to work like that day, and then I had to go back to that position. It was brutal.
Were you questioning everything in life at that point? Like, what did I do?
Yeah, I was. I was. I was like, I was so happy doing it because it was an opportunity, because I was working with a Latin Colombian, director. The set was amazing, super funny. I had never really worked with Latin American actors, and it was an experience for me that it was like, I would do it again. I would not do the freaking prosthetics again. It was liberating. It was like amazing. It's like I didn't know what I was missing because I've always acted in English. So I was like, it is what it is. But the directors in Modern Family and Chris Lloyd and Steve Levitan, they're speaking English, so it's like it was English. And so here it was amazing. He would even tell me just one word would make me immediately understand, everything that he wanted me to. So it was like amazing for me. It was funny, a funny story for me when I was shooting Modern Family. Chris Lloyd, which is one of the creators, they would have like one of the episodes would be him. He would take charge, and then Steve Levitan the other episode, and then like that they would take turns. And Chris, sometimes when he was like trying to tell me like, Sofia, well, I think you should, why don't you? And he realized that if he would do it on with my accent, I would understand it easier. And it's like a joke for us until now. He, for 11 years, he would come and tell me to give me my directions with my accent.
I hope there's a blooper of that somewhere.
Yeah, there has to be, because it was so funny, and it's so funny because the first time that he did it, I didn't even notice that he was doing it. I was like, it was just clear.
It's like you sound great.
Like, that is such a good director. And then we realized we still laugh about it. Is it because of your accent? I'm like, of course. It's like when I moved to Hollywood, I'm like, Penelope and Salma Hayek were here first than me. So I was like, why wouldn't they take their accents, off, and they'll get so much opportunities. I wasted like 6 months with like a speech coach. All the money I had. It's horrific. Those classes, I would go to auditions, and all I could think was where I had to put my tongue, so I was not getting anything. And then I said, I can't. I realized how hard it is. If you don't have an ear, you don't have an ear. Like, it doesn't happen. Even how hard you try, your accent is not going to go away if you don't have that, talent. So I let go, and then I found Modern Family. But I've always been grateful. Like, I don't want to think like I'm limited, because imagine what else can I ask than getting a role for 11 years like Modern Family with that stupid accent. Exactly, so I cannot complain. And of course, at this point at 52, maybe like in 5 years I can play a scientist, because I'm not even going to look that great in 5 years.
Not true. Not true at all.
So I was like, I try not to think about like I am limited. I try to be thankful. Imagine, it's like, I never even dreamed in my life without ever, acting or having any dreams of acting, to have the career that I got.